Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. We talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Ross Jeffries. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Today, we're going to be previewing the Week 12 games in the NFL like I've done for the previous 11 weeks. And this week's going to be really awesome because it's Thanksgiving week, and I want to wish you guys all a happy Thanksgiving and a happy Thanksgiving week in general. Hope you guys have a great time with family and friends, eat some great turkey, and watch some great football because there are three big matchups on Thanksgiving Day in the NFL. So let's go ahead and break down every single Week 12 game, starting with the Thanksgiving matchups. And at 12:30 p.m. on Fox on Thanksgiving Day, you've got the Green Bay Packers traveling on the road to the Detroit Lions. Now, I will say that Green Bay did get a big win last week over the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers can't beat anybody right now, and Green Bay was able to get a 3-point win over them. But now they're going on the road to the Detroit Lions, who did not look that good last week in their win over the Chicago Bears, but they were able to pull out the win. Jared Goff struggled with 3 interceptions, but I do feel like since they're at home on Thanksgiving Day in front of a national television audience, they are going to play hard, and they're not going to want to lose to a Green Bay Packers team that has definitely been inferior to the Lions all season long. I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions to get a Thanksgiving Day win over the Green Bay Packers, 28-14. Then on CBS at 4:30 p.m., you got the Washington Commanders traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is always on national television on Thanksgiving Day, and a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans just do not want their team to slip up against the Commanders. Washington lost to the New York Giants last week. That was a terrible loss for Washington. Sam Howell did not have a great game. Dak Prescott's been playing much better football the last couple weeks, and with everybody going to be watching this game on Thanksgiving Day, Dallas will definitely not want to slip up. I do think that Dallas will win 31-17 over Washington, but the Cowboys are a team that sometimes it's hard to trust them. Then on Thursday night, on Thanksgiving Day, you got the San Francisco 49ers traveling on the road to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Seattle suffered a bad loss to the Los Angeles Rams last week. It's almost like these teams were looking ahead to their matchups on Thanksgiving Day because they all struggled, the Detroit Lions, the Washington Commanders, and the Seattle Seahawks. And then you look at San Francisco. They've got their groove back after they lost those 3 games in a row. They've come off the bye week and they're rolling again. Brock Purdy is back in a groove. Deebo Samuel's healthy, playing great football. And Christian McCaffrey's put up incredible stats. Geno Smith is a little banged up, but he should play in this game. But the fact that Geno might not be 100% and Seattle didn't play good football last week, it is at home, and I do believe they'll play hard on Thanksgiving Day. But I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers to get a big Thanksgiving Day win on the road in Seattle, 31-24 for San Francisco to move to 8-3 on the season. Now to move on to the Black Friday game, the first ever Black Friday matchup in the NFL. You got the Miami Dolphins traveling to the New York Jets. Now, New York has really been struggling the past few weeks. Zach Wilson is not doing a good job on offense, and he's been benched. And now Miami with Tua Tagovailoa in that offense. If New York cannot score points with their backup quarterback, then I do believe that Miami could take advantage of them here. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle are playing fantastic, and their defense looks to be improving as well. Miami doesn't have a perfect team. They do have some flaws, but New York has plenty more flaws. Aaron Rodgers is not back yet, and it is on the road, so it will be tough for Miami in that atmosphere. But I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins to beat the New York Jets 34-17 on Prime Video on Friday afternoon on Black Friday. I do believe that the Jets do not have enough offense to be able to knock off Miami, and Tua will sling enough touchdowns for them to get the win. Now to move on to the regular Sunday matchups, you got the New Orleans Saints traveling to the Atlanta Falcons. New Orleans is 5-5, Atlanta's 4-6, and both of these teams are still in the race for the NFC South title because the NFC South has been abysmal this year. Derek Carr, he's questionable with a concussion, but I do believe he should be able to return to play in this game, whereas Desmond Ridder, he will be playing because Taylor Heineke's out in this game. The Saints have a better defense than Atlanta, even though Atlanta's defense is competent, and I do believe if Derek Carr does play that the Saints will be able to score more than Atlanta, who's really struggling on offense right now. I'll go with New Orleans to beat Atlanta 17-14. Then you got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. Unfortunately, Joe Burrow is out for the season, and Jake Browning will have to come in for the Cincinnati Bengals. That is a tough loss for Cincinnati because they are already in a tough division. You talk about the NFC South being really bad. Well, the AFC North has been playing great football this year, and I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Joe Burrow is out, will be able to take advantage of that and get a big win on the road, 21-20. But if Joe Burrow was playing, I would have picked the Bengals. Then you got the Carolina Panthers traveling to the Tennessee Titans. Titans. Two teams that have underachieved this year. The Titans have only won 3 games, and the Panthers only have 1 win on the year. Tennessee's offense is abysmal, and in most games that would be enough for them to lose. But with Carolina's offense arguably being even worse, Bryce Young struggling, and Will Levis has looked a bit better than Bryce Young overall, I will go with the Tennessee Titans to get their 4th win of the season and beat the Carolina Panthers 17-14. Then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the Indianapolis Colts. This is a fairly important game for both teams. The Colts have 5 wins, and the Tampa Bay Bucs only have 4 wins, so they are both on the fringes of the playoff. Tampa Bay's in a bit better shape because, again, the NFC South's so bad, but they need a win. Baker Mayfield's been banged up, but he has been playing a bit better football lately. Gardner Minshew has been turnover prone, and the Colts offense has been struggling the last few weeks. Even though the Colts have won their last couple of games, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go on the road and knock off the Indianapolis Colts 21-20, but this game is definitely very close to a toss-up. Then you got the New England Patriots traveling to the New York Giants. This game's just like Carolina and Tennessee. Both teams have been abysmal this year, but the Giants were able to knock off the Washington Commanders, who could have been looking ahead to their Thanksgiving Day matchup. So the Giants now have 3 wins. The Patriots only have 2 wins. But New England does have a quarterback controversy. Bill Belichick has not announced whether Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi will be playing in this game. And with New York, Tommy DeVito's been in. He's trying his hardest, but that offensive line is still really bad. The Giants definitely could win, but I'm going to go with the New England Patriots to beat the New York Giants 14-10. I just feel like the Patriots defense will be just enough to be able to beat the New York Giants in this matchup. And then with the final 1 o'clock game in the Week 12 slate of the NFL, you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the Houston Texans. This is underratedly one of the best matchups in the NFL this week. Jacksonville's having a great year. They're playing better football lately, but look at what CJ Stroud's been doing with the Texans. He's thrown 17 touchdowns to 5 picks, and he has almost 3,000 passing yards, which is unbelievable for a rookie. It is at Houston, and I believe that their defense has played a lot better than people were expecting at the beginning of the season. But Trevor Lawrence, even though he hasn't been perfect this year, he's the more experienced quarterback, and Jacksonville's on a quest to get a really high playoff seed. I think they'll go on the road and beat the Houston Texans 28-27, and what could be a potential thriller. Then you got the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Denver Broncos on Fox at 4:05. Cleveland is a team that's been getting by. They're somehow 7-3, which is something no one thought would happen at the beginning of the season, especially with Deshaun Watson out. They've been getting by with PJ Walker, and now Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who played at quarterback for the Browns last week. But Denver, look at the way that they're playing. They just keep on winning, and I've picked against the Broncos several times thinking that they would slip up and fall back to their normal losing ways, but Denver has kept proving me wrong, and with Cleveland's offense not being that perfect, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, even though he played pretty well last week in Cleveland's win, their offense is not as good without Deshaun Watson in. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos to keep it rolling and get another close win over the Cleveland Browns 21-20. Then you got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to the Arizona Cardinals. The Los Angeles Rams have not had a great season, but they were able to get a big win over the Seattle Seahawks last week. Arizona, since Kyler Murray's return, their offense has gotten a little bit better, but they are still struggling all around. They're not in the playoff conversation. Neither is the Rams, but the Los Angeles Rams would still have a fringe of hope if they can win this game versus if Arizona won. I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford, even though he's been banged up this year and there is no Cooper Kupp, to go on the road and beat the Arizona Cardinals 20-17. Then you got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. Kansas City lost a tough game to the Philadelphia Eagles last week on Monday Night Football, but the Las Vegas Raiders, even though they have a pretty good home environment, they are not as tough of a team as Philadelphia. I think Kansas City will bounce back as long as Patrick Mahomes doesn't turn the ball over, something he has done more of this season. Travis Kelce needs to get more targets, and if they prioritize that on a Las Vegas Raiders defense, is not one of the best in the NFL, and the fact that Aiden O'Connell has been struggling at quarterback just like Jimmy Garoppolo has, Kansas City should win 28-14 over the Raiders, in my opinion. Then you got the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. This is another game that could be really good as long as the Bills show up to play. They got a big win over the Jets last week. Finally, the Bills offense got rolling after they fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, and now Joe Brady's the new interim offensive coordinator. But Philadelphia, they got a great defense. They got a great home environment, and Jalen Hurts has been a warrior this year. He's battling a leg injury right now, but he's still running and throwing the ball with ease. They've got a great receiving core, headlined by A.J. Brown, who already has 1,000 receiving yards this year, and Devontae Smith is playing great football as well. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles will beat the Buffalo Bills 28-21, but since Buffalo looked better last week and Josh Allen is starting to get back to his old form, I think that the Bills will keep it close. Then on Sunday Night Football, you got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles can't win a game. They're 4-6 on the season. Brandon Staley's hot seat is hotter than ever before. Los Angeles is like Nebraska when they had Scott Frost. They cannot win close games. games. The Chargers have lost 7 straight games by 3 points. That's absolutely insane that is the case. And Baltimore is having one of their better seasons that they've had in a while because Lamar Jackson is healthy and he's playing good football, taking care of the football for the most part. As long as he stays injury-free, the Ravens could end up having a playoff run at the end of the season. I believe that the Ravens will beat the Los Angeles Chargers 24-21, but I only picked the Ravens by 3 because that's how much the Los Angeles Chargers always lose in every single game. Then to move on to the Monday Night Football matchup to end this fantastic week in the NFL with all 32 teams playing. You've got the Chicago Bears traveling to the Minnesota Vikings. This is a game that most people would feel Minnesota will win. I know Joshua Dobbs being in makes some people worried about the Vikings offense because they aren't as crisp without Kirk Cousins. They're still doing a good job, and they were this close to beating the Denver Broncos last week, but Minnesota fell short, so they're 6-5 on the year. But Chicago's offense, even though Justin Fields is back, is still not playing that great, and their defense just cannot do enough to be able to get the team wins. Since it is on the road, and Chicago's offense won't be able to put enough pressure on Minnesota's defense, and I think Joshua Dobbs will bounce back with a bit better performance. I'll go with the Minnesota Vikings to get their 7th win of the season and beat the Chicago Bears 24-17 on Monday Night Football. Now, those are the Week 12 games in the NFL. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about my picks for every single Week 12 game. There's a lot of great matchups with all 32 teams playing, and those 3 Thanksgiving Day matchups and a matchup on Black Friday as well are going to be really awesome to watch. And I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving again with your family and friends, eating some great turkey and ham, whatever you prefer. But it's going to be a great week in the NFL, and I can't wait for the action to start. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Follow me on Twitter as well. Link is in the description, and I'll see you next time.